there was no type of engagement from any athletes during the World Indoor Championships, which is international championships in a sport that we're trying to bring more eyes to. Can I say something? Can I big us up for how we did during the World Indoor Championships? Because, Benji, we're putting rivalries out there. We're putting results out there. We're talking about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We're doing a lot. Even afterwards, bigging up some of the key winners. And we're obviously a smaller outlet, which is fine. But where's the athlete engagement during the championships? Yo, I was talking to Andre before the 60-meter final. And originally, he had Bracy winning, right? Saw the lane draws, and he hollered at me again and was like, you know what? I see Bracy's in the middle now between Marcel and Christian Coleman. I think he's going to tighten up, yo. I'm going to go with Marcel winning, Christian second, Bracy third, which is exactly what happened. Now, how cool would that have been if Andre had tweeted his little prediction before the race, and we see that an athlete of that caliber is engaged, watching his sport, has some insight on his sport, and actually know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be like, yo, are there more athletes doing this? That's how I'd feel. I'm seeing nothing. An international championships is happening. Where is everybody? What's the plan? What's the plan here? I want to know what the plan is for a lot of these athletes, because it's not clear to me. I'm getting tired of hearing the athletes complain about the fact that the sport's not getting the attention it deserves. And, you know, we're busting our ass every day and no one cares. And yeah, but you don't even really care. You're not watching the biggest meet of the year up to that point, or even talking about it. So why is anybody else going to do it?
The problem for me is the people that are doing it for free, doing it off their own backs, trying it because they love the sport. We're one of those outlets. We're new. We started last year, but we love the sport. We've been there. We've done it. You know, Ray's take. You've got Track Girl Summer, and then you've got those two black runners.
Two black runners. You got MJPTV. You got Stu doing a thing here and there. There's some outlets like... this is the thing. I just don't understand the plan. Like, how are we going to get out to everybody? Because the bigger outlets are obviously going to do it when it benefits them. That's the athletes feel like, oh, well, you know what? If I'm on BBC, I'll promote that, and it's going to make me look better because I'm on their platform.
And they're the BBC.
But they're big because you're on their platform. Yeah. But they're not going to care about you if you're not running well. These smaller outlets that are actually passionate about the sport and really want to talk about you, even when you may not be doing nothing big, you can't give them a little retweet every so often. Give them a little like. Give them a little share.
I know.
They're talking about you, and they don't have to. And they're doing it for free. They're only doing it because of the passion. To be honest, you're doing your thing. I'm doing my thing. I'm getting offers from other outlets to talk about other sports, but track is my passion. I've put everything into trying to save a dying sport, which is actually what's happening. Everyone can deny it if they want to, but that's the reality of the situation. These bigger outlets are going to use the athletes in their business. They got to do what they got to do. They're going to use the athletes when it's going to benefit them, and they're going to get paid to do it. That's when you're going to be of value to them. We're really trying to push the sport, and really, those bigger outlets don't care. A lot of them are not even going to remember you.
Do you know what's really interesting to me is that, like, you'll at someone, right, and you'll big them up. They'll look at the thing and don't even give a 1-2 like, nothing. No. But what they're not understanding is that we're the ones that care. I don't know if it's because sometimes we cuss, but we're going to tell the truth. But then when you're done good, we're going to give you props. But the thing is, even when we're giving you props, we do something and it's like, big up this person, da, da, da. Nothing. Crickets.
So not only were the athletes who weren't at World Indoors worthless, the actual athletes that went and are looking back at their content afterwards that is done on them, they're not liking or sharing nothing from these smaller outlets. And you don't know how far some of these likes and shares and stuff can go, because in general, someone gets a little bit of traction on some of their stuff, they can boost their setup up. They can boost their skills up, and they can get their stuff to a higher level. Because a lot of athletes would be like, well, you know, the bigger outlets, their stuff looks better. It's better, which is debatable. But there's more money going into it because they're getting money from it. We're not asking for shit.
We actually have some insight in exactly what these people are doing. We've been there and done it. And now we're retired. It's like, okay, we can actually have a bit of a better perspective. Because I know when I was competing, maybe I didn't see everything. But now we can say things that maybe some athletes can't. Maybe we can do things that some athletes can't. But they also know that we've been there and done it. They're basically promoting the bigger broadcasters. But look, I have to say this, right? I saw a picture going around, right? From World Athletics live feed, right? Obviously they were streaming the event, and I saw a picture going around like, this is our World Athletics broadcast team. And I was like, how many athletes in that World Indoors won medals and they were black? People might think we're always going on about this, and they're like, oh, here we go again. But like, it doesn't make sense to me. They were all white. They had 2 middle distance runners that were women. Cool. They had a guy who was a journalist. I don't know what he's done and whatever. Cool. They had a couple of other people. I don't know who they were. And they had a Paralympic thrower. But they were all white. And I think they thought, okay, we've got some women. We've got a Paralympic athlete. We've got a bit of the diversity. They missed one big thing. The black voice. Because as far as I saw, I think there were more black people who won across the board gold medals in the events than white. So imagine that if you're not even going to have a black voice saying what they're saying, it doesn't even matter. Like, get someone, please get someone. They didn't. I really want to know, do these athletes, right, that are big in these, do they actually really feel like that they are a good representation of what their experiences are as athletes in the sport?
I feel like they feel like there's some sort of benefit in promoting those outlets, because those are the outlets that are usually promoted. But there is no actual benefit. They're not going to speak about you unless you're doing well. And the reality of the situation is you may get a moment in the spotlight, and if the spotlight's not big enough, they're not really going to talk about it. We will. A lot of the smaller outlets will, because we're talking about what's going on in the sport, whether it's good or bad. Like, we're not here to promote and just talk about people's good shit all the time. We're here to talk about the sport because the sport is valuable. We're trying to raise the value by talking about the sport. I'm talking about smaller outlets that are passionate about it. Mm-hmm. We're trying to raise the stock of the sport that you're in, because you're in something that becomes valuable once that happens. I can see an NBA player, and I've seen them play basketball, but you're in the NBA, so I know you're someone. Mm-hmm. It's not like that in track.
No.
In track, it's like, you're in track. Well, do you have a medal? Are you winning? I don't really care about you, because if you're not a winner, and if I don't see you winning, I mean, who really cares what you do? Now, I'm not saying that they need us. We need each other, though, because if we get a little bit more access, a little bit more, our stuff floats around a little bit more, then all of a sudden we can start competing with them on a quality level. Mm-hmm. And I'm saying quality because I feel like a lot of quality at our levels, especially with the shit that we do, is up there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But it's a credibility thing. You know what I'm saying? If people are looking at numbers, then boost the outlets that are actually telling the story properly. Yes. And that actually care.
Yeah.
Y'all got the shit backwards right now. Like, you're boosting the people that only care about you because they're getting something from it. And there's people who are doing it because they actually care about the sport and about what's going on with you. So what's the plan here is what I'm trying to say, because this isn't working. The stock is down right now in track and field. And I know I'm not seeing something that we're really watching the sport. And I'm trying to tell you, despite what you think, the stock is down. So what are you doing to raise it?
Last year, everyone was cussing Sha'Carri or whatever, but she was super cool to jump on a little live that we were doing. She didn't know who we were, but she was super cool. She just seemed nice. She was like, oh my gosh, she was, open. Some athletes would just look and cut their eye and keep it moving. Like, exactly. Who are you? And that's the thing I don't understand.
Certain athletes think they're more than they really are. Sha'Carri's the biggest name of the sport. All it was is, Aaron knows me. Oh, you know him? Cool. Oh, they used to do a sport. Okay, yeah, I'll jump on. I don't care. She jumped on like nothing.
Yeah.
But that's her. Like, she just seems like a real person. Like, okay, like they're really putting something into it. A lot of these people feel like, well, I can't put myself on that because they're a smaller outlet. And how many followers do they have? Oh, no.
I know.
I'll go on this one here because they got more followers. But they have followers because you're giving them the access. You're the value. They're not adding to your stock. You're adding to theirs. So you might as well add to the outlets that actually care about the shit that you're doing, Y'all got the shit backwards right now, and I'm trying to bring it frontwards. If you want the sport to raise in value, give attention and spread the reach of the outlets that are showing the passion that you want everybody to show.
Along with the athletes doing the performances, we speak about it from a perspective that's not only passionate, but also knowledgeable and also connected, right? Connected to that energy. We get to do that. And I feel like that's the vibe that is missing. People are bored at the moment with the way the way that the story's being told. It's boring. We come out and we say, we think that they should do this. We think that they should do that. Oh, why don't they do this? Why? And everything we've said since last year, hardly any of those things have been done prior to that. And all of a sudden, about no word of a lie, like 10 of the things that we speak about. Now, it might be a coincidence call and they've caught up with it. A huge
coincidence.
We know certain other outlets are listening. But
they would have to.
But they don't.
The bigger outlets don't understand the sport. So they're going to watch the smaller outlets for some ideas because they got the larger platform. Yes. And it seems like it's their idea. Yes. But the knowledge is coming from this level.
We know because we've had a couple people from certain other outlets say, man, hey, we really like your stuff. We see man, you know, they've come out and they've actually acknowledged that they watch our stuff, they see it. Of course, they're not going to do it. We understand that they're not going to do it. But what we don't understand is why, if, let's say, for instance, we do a whole piece bigging up Noah Lyles, right? And we're like, this dude is, or Grant Holloway, bigging them up, or whoever, we're just using those. And they don't even do a 1 like or 1 retweet. But then for me, I will see some random tweet that some other outlet's doing that's not even mentioning them. And then they're commenting on it. Hey, man, great to see what you're doing. And I'm like, what is actually happening? They didn't even mention you. They were just talking about something they're doing outside of, and then you're commenting on it. You know, you're like bigging them up.
It's
and yet someone like us or another one of the small outlets are actually fully doing a whole piece on you or really giving you your own, shining the light just directly on you. And you don't even give a like, a retweet to help promote yourself, to help promote the sport. It's not about you. I know that track and field is an individual sport, but it's not just about you. This is about our sport. And like Hanson said, if we raise the stock together, everyone eats.
If I was drowning, which track and field is doing, and someone's throwing me a little Lifesaver, I'm not going to act too cool to grab the Lifesaver, yo. Help us help you. We're dashing the Lifesaver into the water, yo. Don't try to act like you can swim.
Because I tell you this right now. You
can't, yo.
And I tell you this right now. Those other big outlets, if it benefits them, they'll jump on board.
Right.
But again, let me tell you this. As soon as that thing starts drowning, guess what's going to happen? They got a big cruise ship willing to give them a little, and then they just leave you. Drowning. Forget us. Forget all these little outlets. With the big outlets, they're still not bringing in numbers. They're still not helping the sport to be what it should be. Why? Think about that. Why? You know why? Because they realize their money's going nowhere. The amount of money they're putting in is going nowhere. And they're like, yeah. And guess what the biggest sport in the Olympics is? Track and field. And guess what they're like?
They'll blame it on the sport.
Yeah, they will.
The numbers aren't going up. The numbers aren't going up because the story isn't being told well, because they can't speak from a real place of passion because they don't know what they're talking about, yo. People respond to passion.
They do.
At the lower levels, that's where the passion is. But that's where you're going to hear, yo, like, I kind of want to get into this because they're really into this. So I feel like I should be into this. They're not going to jump on board with this boring shit because it's boring. It's not, they don't really understand the vibe. They're not capturing it. But we are. But we don't have the numbers right now, which is people are seeing, which is cool. But if you need numbers, put the energy in the right place and the numbers are going to grow. Mm. And we're talking about the sport. We're just trying to push the sport, yo. And we know we're going to tell the story right. We know there's outlets that are going to tell the story right. Help us help you. That's all I'm saying, yo. Because you need help. That's the bottom line, yo. And we got to stop denying the shit. Before
we're
the
retired.
We're done.
We're out of this sport.
We're done, yo.
Well, literally, we did lucky. Arting. Really, it's only because of you that I even got back. Your passion.
It doesn't make any sense.
Got me back involved because I was bored. It was so boring. This is the sport that I put my whole life into. Right, I loved it. It was vibrant. It had excitement. When I was competing, I loved it. It had, there was things that they could have done better, obviously, but there was still a foundation. There was a basis of that kind of connected energy, and there was always things that can be improved. But you know what started happening? It started getting worse and worse and worse. I got bored. I so got bored, and I decided, you know what? I can't be bothered. I ain't got time for this. Me and you met. Your passion got me back in the door. I was like, and we reminisced. We talked about it, and then you know what? I started watching it again. And then I started kind of getting, and then because of that passion, that's what we're talking about right now. That's what those big outlets do not have. They do not have the passion.